This is so peaceful. Awesome place to meditate, to do yoga, meditate. Hi, Cornelia. Isn't it beautiful here? My daughter and I have met here a couple of times. Um, she told me about this place, and I've lived in this area for so long and never even knew it existed. I knew on the other side, down over there, there's a beach. That's what I knew existed, but I didn't know there was a whole other area back here that you could have access to. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Oh, jeez. Up so much for peaceful. Really, dude? God, kids. How's everyone this morning? It's a perfect place to meditate. Just 10 minutes. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. When you breathe in, I am not of my body. When you breathe out, I am not of my mind. That's the separation between your thoughts and your body. Um, in the universe, I mean, the union, yoga. And I guarantee you, 2 weeks of doing this, your brain will have been decluttered. I promise you that. Your brain will be like Velcro. I mean, like Teflon. You won't have that Velcro sticky brain with every single thought coming to your head like a keyboard warrior inside your brain. So I was watching, someone notified me about Leticia. Love notes for TLC saying she's not doing good. And, I watched just a little bit of it. She's broken. Hi, Bitey Cat. Bitey Cat, your videos are down. Everyone thought your channel was gone. I was on BBT's last night after we punked people. I feel bad for Michael. He was in the chat and he was just like, you don't like Natasha and you've trashed her. And I'm like, because I watched the replay today of the chat and I'm like, I never trashed Natasha. Stop it. Stop it. I don't remember. If I did, I'm sorry, but I think it was the other way around. She trashed me one time when I came into her chat. You can go to bed now, Pink, because she thought I was trashing her with Dorothy. And I wasn't. I won't take a side. I'm like, hey, that's your duo, not mine. Anyway, Letitia can certainly pull at your heartstrings, but then she gets back to her nasty self. And I might not hashtag her, notify her to the stream. Just, as an adoptee and knowing my birth family, searching out my birth mother. I don't have a relationship with her. I haven't for years. That wasn't my intent. I realized later on because it was just becoming toxic. But um, she's, of course, very angry that she felt she had to relinquish her baby. First of all, Letitia didn't show up to court, so let's remember that. It was just a Zoom meeting in court, so she could have just popped on through her cell phone and fought the fight as she has with all of us, explaining everything, but she didn't. She didn't, and that's unfortunate because I think she's going to live with a lot of regret. Hi, Angela, a lot of regret moving forward um, that she didn't try because she talks about her son's life being ruined if he finds out that she wanted him and they took her away. Let me explain something, Leticia. Every birth mother, 99.9% of birth mothers who relinquish their children don't want to. It's not like, yeah, take my baby. They don't want to. It is the hardest, most selfless act a mother can do for her child, to give her child a better life. And unfortunately, you didn't have the resources to do that. And you blame everybody, but Leticia, you didn't meet people even halfway in your journey through your pregnancy. You were bitter, angry at the alleged father, and every video, in my opinion, was just for revenge. And I get it, you were angry. Hey, how to the know? How did you know? And that was going to be a surprise. Damn it. You can't keep a secret, can you? So, uh, Leticia, as an adoptee, I can promise you, Leticia, your son more than likely will grow up and be nurtured and loved in a good home. And when you don't grow up with a biological mother, you do have fantasies. You do think, what is my mom like? Why? The number one thing is, yes, why did my birth mother give me up, relinquish me? Um, but I want to tell you this because I always knew that it was out of love that a mother relinquishes her child. And hopefully, and I'm sure that his adopted parents will tell him that he's the chosen child, and it's a beautiful thing. So there's just so many factors with Leticia. And do I feel bad? Of course I do. I feel terrible. But I'm also angry because I think she could have fought harder for her son. But she waited to the 11th and a half hour to basically change her mind and express love for her child, right? When we listened to 8.5, almost 9 months of her hating on that baby when she was pregnant with him. And it was disturbing, calculating, and I can't even believe YouTube allowed her channel to remain. I'm just like, and I hope my wish is long before that child finds out who his biological mother is, that her channel is gone, gone. Once a week bath. Well, I hate to say, Casbah, hello. It's a real lake. Yes, is my first thought was, oh my God, I'm at a lake, right? But this is like no other lake. This isn't the lake you think it is. No, Merb, I'm not across the lake looking at you over there. I see you. Oh, look at the two of them. I see your house and I see the house 2 doors down. No, no. This is a very peaceful. Look at the ducks. Look at those ducks. Look it. Look it. It is absolutely so peaceful here. Watch, another car is going to be like coming through. By the way, this is September. In the United States, it's National Recovery Month. I don't know if it's international. I wish it was. Maybe it is, as International Overdose Awareness Day is, but this is National Recovery Month. So I'm going to do videos periodically that focus on recovery. I am a mother of a child who is currently in recovery. Um, I've spent years committing myself to make a change, even for one person, in spreading awareness and education about the opioid epidemic, the disease of addiction, and offering as much support as I know how to those struggling, to those in recovery, and to the mothers and fathers out there who've lost a child to addiction. the disease of addiction. So I'm going to read just one short. Remember, yesterday I showed you this book I have, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon. It's a daily read. I suggest purchasing it. If you can't afford, I don't know how much it is, maybe $15, 20. If you cannot afford it, please email me and I will purchase one for you. Okay? And I often say that I do not have an addiction, and I try to live my life by the 12-step program. Because I say to people, you don't have to have an addiction. You can just go by the 12 steps. It's like a guide to life. It truly is. So I'm just it's a short read. September 3rd. Okay, what's the big idea in Al-Anon? What's behind these assurances that I do have the power to improve the shape and texture of my life? It is this: look to yourself. What am I doing that creates difficulties for me or aggravates the ones I have? Could it be that I'm trying to fix everything by finding fault with someone else? In Al Anon, I'm encouraged to examine my impulses, motives, actions, and words. This helps me to correct the causes of my own unease and not blame it on others. So, in other words, take accountability for your own behaviors, okay? And don't blame others for something you did or said. Today's reminder: at first, the idea that we might be at fault isn't easy to accept. We find it hard to believe that our behavior isn't all it should be. Once I overcome the habit of justifying everything I do and make use of such tools as courtesy, tenderness, and a warm interest in others, miracles will happen. This I know because I've seen them happen to others who tried the Al Anon way or the AA way. Quote, if you cannot make yourself what you would like to be, how can you expect to have another person exactly to your wishes? We want to see others perfect, yet our own faults go unattended. End quote. So that's the read for today. And um, basically, that is taking accountability and responsibility for our own actions and not to be quick to blame others, to think before we speak, to not rush to judgment. And for the love of God, if you are angry at somebody, do not react right away. Sleep on it, take some time. And that goes for social media too. Do not click that live button when you are angry. Believe me, you will regret it unless you're a sociopath. That water is so inviting. Jump in, Carla. Cornelia, thank you for sharing that, Pink. I will be thinking, reflecting on that passage. Yeah. Hey, Ginger Locks. So if anybody, go on Amazon, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, and I'm sure there's One Day at a Time in AA. Do not be confused with the book, The 12 Steps, although I recommend that book as well, 12-Step Program. But this is, a small book. So let me okay, this is the size of it, okay? Small book. Um, I don't have another book on me to compare it. So it's about 6 inches tall, 4 inches wide, 6 by 4. Okay, and it's a calendar. January 1st. Is a day-to-day read. And again, if you can't afford it, email me at pinkladylux4@gmail.com. I'd be happy to purchase you one. Um, Tracy. You're heading to your fake lake too. Cool, cool. Uh, Last week there were tons of wildflowers in blossom here. They're all gone. They're dying off. A new season, right? Embrace the new seasons, except winter. No, no. Hey, Floor, honey, how are you? Who's Eve? Who's Taylor? What did I miss? With my feeding tube, that might help me. I'm so sorry. I hope you're adjusting okay to it. So yesterday, I will share it on my community post. I was a guest, an honored guest on BBT Boston's channel. Okay. Uh, Maybe I shouldn't say anything for those of you who haven't watched it. Yeah, I will. Look at we punked Merv. It wasn't it fun, Scooter, to punk people? Wasn't it fun? But the only difference is, Scooter, I spoke to BBT before we decided to do this to make sure that she would not be offended, okay, or hurt. Okay, that's the difference. When you play a joke on someone or punk, an audience, for those participating, especially, you want to make sure that, it's cool. I do feel a little bad about Michael, who was in the chat. See, BBT and I were pretending we were fighting. Hey, Daniel, how are you? Good to see you, Daniel. Daniel, we gotta meet. I'm dying to meet you. I really am. We gotta meet up. How about the Brockton Mall? I have to get my car tuned up Tuesday. I'm not gonna pass inspection because my engine light went on. I didn't get a rejection sticker. I refuse to have a rejection sticker on my car. It feels like the scarlet letter, right? It's a big red R in the corner of your windshield. Really, the state of Massachusetts? Nothing like throwing a label at us one day. Absolutely. This fall, I would love for you to meet me at the pet cemetery in Dedham. That's not too far from you. In October, Lizzie Borden's pets grave. I would love for you to come. I'm gonna see if I can drag BBT too. Yes, prayers for Ginger Locks for quick healing. Yeah, Dedham isn't far at all. In fact, you know where I was the other night after the Boston Red Sox game? Have you heard of the Pleasant restaurant on Washington Street in Boston on the Rosendale line between Rossie Square and the Dedham Mall? The Pleasant Cafe has been there since I was a kid. And my daughter and I and my niece from my late husband's family who flew in from out of state. We all had dinner there. It was so fun. And I didn't go live because I wanted to capture the memories of myself without the camera. You've heard of it. You've got to go there. The amount of food. It's an Italian restaurant. It's family style. The amount of food you get is phenomenal, phenomenal, and it's cheap. I got an eggplant. I love eggplant with pasta, a salad, huge salad with olives in it, not just like one cube, one tomato. Bread, 12.95, and it was delicious. Huge portions. You like eggplant too? It's all I ever. My daughter, Mom always gets eggplant. When we went to the North End, we went to this fine dining restaurant. It was really nice. And the other day I mentioned that it overlooked the oldest city square in the country. No, actually, it's the oldest city square in the world. And we had a perfect view of it. And um, I didn't even look at the menu. I already knew what I wanted, eggplant. But it didn't come with pasta. It's a la carte there. So, but my daughter got pasta, a huge amount of pasta, and which she always gets. And she shared her pasta with me. So you're hungry for a good home cooked dinner. Yeah, I'm looking forward now that things are settling down a little bit. Nana Patty, and I think Mama Ames does them too. Um, Cooking, she'll give you the recipe ahead of time so you have the ingredients and you can go up there and participate, but you have to show yourself cooking. So I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, oh, back to BBT. So yes, we punked Merb because Merb, I guess a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, I don't know when. I'm really bad at um, time wise. Um, Announced that BBT and I split because we were fighting over subs. We both got monetized at the same time. So it was basically another one of Pink's social experiments. I've had them before. If you all remember when I did it with the gift card, I did a social experiment on my channel to show how fast people gravitate toward lies and believe everything a person says. So I pretended I received $100 gift card to Target, and I went live and pretended I was angry because I went to the store and there's nothing on the card. You wouldn't believe the people that came flying out of the woodwork into my chat. And I got a text. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. And that was from Analyzer, the cancer scammer. And I'm like, what's that saying I heard once? A barking, something about a howling dog or something. A hit dog, a hit dog howls or something like that. So we did a social experiment. And I was looking at chat this morning because I couldn't see chat. I was on my cell phone last night. I couldn't be two places, see chat and be on talk on the live. But um, some people were suspicious, but most of the people fell for it. And our code word was Oreo cookie. BBT wanted our code phrase to be Santa's holding the bag. I'm like, what? But it was Oreo cookie. And then JM came up, which I didn't expect. So she had to be part of the little, she wasn't aware at that point, but she was good about it. Yes, Hell to the No. Yes, she has an excellent channel. That video on substance use disorder was phenomenal. It brought me to tears. It really did. It was phenomenal, and I thank you for that. What a powerful message. And I'm glad that, going through this journey with my son over the many, many years that I'm seeing a positive change, that the disease of addiction is being addressed more and more publicly. And there's more education, but we still have a lot of work to do. There's still the stigma of those struggling with substance use disorder and mental health, the labels. And some people say it like so matter of fact, like, yeah, he's a junkie. I feel bad for him. I'm like, what? You know? So that takes education. It's reprogramming people's minds. It's ignorance. It's all it is ignorance. Um, Referring to people that struggle with mental health issues, calling them schizo. That's another label. Um, if you're an alcoholic, and I've said it to Black Eagle, alkies, um, we have to choose our words carefully and wisely and to be mindful that this is not a choice. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to really mess up my life and lose my family, my marriage, my job. It was wonderful. It was late too, as work has been a lot this week. Hello, Rashid. I love that name, Rashid. I knew a Rashid. That mother's story so blesses me. She was so inspiring. Yeah, so if anyone, I did live stream an event that took place in Marlborough, Massachusetts, like the cigarette, but it's spelled Marborough. We have several boroughs um, in Massachusetts. And Chris Sullivan, a former NFL Patriots football player, was one of the guest speakers. And I'll tell you, when he ever spoke about you receive a chip in AA for sobriety at certain, you know, at a month, at a week, at one day, a year. He held up that chip and then he reached in his pocket and took out the Super Bowl ring because he won a Super Bowl. And he said that that chip meant more to him than the Super Bowl ring. And I was, it was amazing. Bertie, I have mental illness, and one thing I totally hate is when I'm having a bad day and someone will say, well, did you take your meds? You can have bad days like anyone else. You know what? That, Bertie, that is an excellent point. And I hate to admit, I'm pretty sure I've said that same thing. And I apologize. I think, I often refer, like if someone seems manic or out of control, we often assume they're not taking their meds. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because that's not always true. And you're right. People who struggle with mental illness or mental disorders can have bad days, right? We think take a pill and you'll be happy forever after. I get the shivers. Thank you so much, Bertie. And you know what, Bertie? If you don't mind, I'm going to mention that often when I discuss in the future mental health issues, if you don't mind. My nephew lost four fraternity brothers, one his roommate to fentanyl in 6 months period. Raleigh, North Carolina. The dealer is in jail facing murder charges. All had graduated from college. Good job. Wow. Well, you know what? I'm glad the dealer is being charged, that they actually found out. Sometimes the cops won't even look on their cell phones or try to investigate, but I'm glad they did because I have no mercy for drug dealers. Pain pills from athletic injuries. Yeah, St. Elmo's, same thing with Chris Sullivan, who spoke at that event. The doctors, after the games, his injuries, wrist injuries, he had surgery. The doctors would just give him whatever he wanted. Thanks, Bertie. It's okay to check in the behaviors to the extreme. Right, so there's that fine line. So if you do see someone and you think that they're in a crisis, absolutely reach out and make sure that person is safe if you're with them, that there are no weapons around or knives, anything that they can hurt themselves with or you. Excuse me, and call 911. You have extreme anxiety, PTSD, and depression. Bertie, have you heard of Sadhguru? He's a guru from India, mystic, philosopher. He's not a cult. It's not a religion. Um, for me, anyway, I followed him for years, and I still do, and I've learned meditation yoga, and he has helped me immensely with my mindset. Um, Periods of depression, situational depression. I don't suffer from it chronically. Um, but he's given me a different outlook, perspective. And it's SADHGURU.org. He's, and I have some of his videos on my page. And I put one on my community post yesterday. He has a few million followers too. It's amazing. My dream, and he just opened up a center in Nashville. Is it Nashville, Tennessee, or Memphis? Um, a yoga meditation facility, and he does retreats once a year, and you can actually sign up and go on a retreat with him for a week. And they usually go hiking in the Himalayas, and I mean, not like extreme hiking, but my goal is to meet him. I almost met him a couple of years ago, but it was he came to New York, but I couldn't get time off from work. It was last minute. So, Sadhguru, S as in Sam, A, D as in David, H, Harry, GUR, as in rabbit, U, Sadhguru.org. And he has an app. He has daily inspiration quotes. Um, so just check him out. Won't hurt to check him out. No, he's not sad, Casper. Not at all. And he explains things easily. He has a sense of humor, often dry, but he gives examples of situations, and he explains it very easily where you actually can visualize what he's explaining, and he adds humor to a lot of the examples, and he laughs literally from the belly like Santa Claus. So I love him. Don't know what I mean when they say an incident can replay in your mind over and over and over and over and over, and the med stuff that don't stop. Yes, and that's why yoga meditation is important, because with those breathing exercises, and if and you can go to his website, and they they show you how to do it. It's easy. You don't have to wrap up like a pretzel either, but they will explain the positioning, the breathing, and I promise you, in 2 weeks, you will notice that your brain isn't so cluttered. I promise you that. I promise you that. And that is yoga, the separation from the clutter in our brain, because we can't compartmentalize everything anymore. There's too much. There's too much stress going on in the world. There's too much trauma, injuries. And think of your brain as a bookshelf. There's nowhere else to put books. The shelves are all filled, so they start falling, right? Inside your head. And the faster you pick them up, they keep falling, and there's no more room. You can't add another bookshelf where our brains are just fully maxed out. So I hope you'll find some um, joy in watching some of his videos. So your faith in God is extremely important. Sometimes I fall asleep praying, and that's good meditation. Well, absolutely, yes, absolutely. We need our faith. We need a foundation. Absolutely. Because when all else seems to fail, who do we rely on? Or what do we rely on? Our faith. So it's important for our children too that they grow up with a foundation of faith. You don't have to bring them to church if you're not a church goer or whatever, but please give them a foundation and teach them about God. That's good, Bertie. Remember, you have a mental illness. You are not a mental illness, right? That does not define a person. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Okay, I do have to go. I'd love that I suffer with anxiety and going through 4 deployments with my youngest son. My stomach developed severe ulcers. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, St. Elmo's. Meditation will absolutely help you because I didn't suffer from anxiety until I came to YouTube, believe it or not. My stomach kept going in knots, and I'm like, what is this? Because it was never in my head, it was in my stomach. Like butterflies, but not good butterflies, like mean butterflies. And I found out that it was anxiety. And I swayed a little bit away from meditation at that time. And my life was just busy. And I had no excuse, 10 minutes twice a day. But I did, and I got right back into it. And my anxiety's gone. It's gone. And it's just not the yoga, the meditation, but it's you learn the tools to deal with, to try to cope with um, things that create anxiety. Because anxiety, we create. It's fear. We create anxiety. So Sadhguru has taught me throughout the years how to approach it, how to avoid it, um, and the fact that something that we create, how to have more control over my own body, my own thoughts. Thanks, Cornelia. All right, everyone. So have a beautiful day. Look at this man fishing. How peaceful. What a picture. Doesn't even have his motor on. He's just drifting. Because lakes do have currents. Oh, oh. I hope he knows how to float. Davita. Oh, I have to leave, Davita. My battery's going low. It wasn't fully charged. Decluttering your brain closet. You should make a title and do a whole thing on that. Yeah, maybe I will. Do a little sad girl teaching. Should be happy, happy girl. Hi, Davita. Oh, I do have to go because my battery is going to die. But please watch the replay. Yes, everyone have a wonderful day. Okay, and check out BBT Boston's. Yes, we did prank. Let me ramble. Well, maybe teach people a lesson. We did a social experiment. Don't believe everything you hear. And until you gather your facts, keep your mouth quiet. Until you gather your facts. Hey, Paisley. Oh boy, everyone's coming in now. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Um, be well. Stay who you are. Don't let anyone redefine who you are. Okay? People love you for who you are. So don't ever change for someone else. Okay? Hey, crazy life. Hey, everyone. Evie. All right. Bye, everyone. Talk to you soon.